properties. Test. Okay, we're good. Okay, the Hermitcraft tweet is out here. Alrighty, sound check. Mic 1212. Welcome Samira212. Welcome Karis Sophia 1212. Ozthoth 1212. Sherry Guy. Izzy McCormick. Repaired Cape. Hunter Lee. Glad everybody's here. Let us get started. What I was going to say is, welcome to Hermitcraft for today, January 8th, 2018. I'm Joe Hills, and I'm your host. We have a great show for you tonight. Okay. Good. Cool. Let's go ahead and actually put some... I've got some more storage-related, like, stuff, minutia I should probably be doing here. Extra saddles, extra beetroot, extra wheat, that sort of thing. But plenty to do. Okay. Dang it, door. Okay, so let's go ahead and put these extra chests here. Blue concrete, not even sure where that goes. Glass bottles we can put over here in the death house. Okay, so one thing that I was thinking about doing today was brainstorming a bit for the portal exit over by the Red Sky Bay Cube. But we can figure that out in a minute. Why don't I have a water source here? Did I have something where I used to have a water source and then I got rid of it? That plausibly seems like something I might do. 16 buckets. We might want those as well. Okay. Great. Probably don't want those buckets sitting there where they're worthless. Okay. So I think we... Oh, it's raining, of course. Let's go ahead. How many FPS is it going today? Looks like we're holding steady at 113, so pretty okay. Stream should be 60, but alright. Let's see. Hope everybody had a good weekend. If anything crazy happened to you, let me know now. Because I'm about to switch into recording mode once we get this rain sorted out. And we'll talk a little bit about my weekend. Yay. Because I like talking about myself. Okay. Yay, waking up in walls. Okay. And it's still raining. Dang it. Happy belated New Year, Fawn. Let's go ahead and switch to face cam off mode and start our recording. Oh, Yingling Air says, took my daughter ice skating for the first time. Awesome. That's really good. I like taking my daughter ice skating. She's not very good at it though, so she usually puts quite a burden on my back. Howdy Samuel, we're just about to start the recording. So face cam off. Start recording. Give the hard drive a chance to catch up. Takes a minute sometimes. Do my little warm-up exercises. Let me clear my throat. Howdy. Test, test, test. An angry man. There's my story. The bitter rancor of Achilles. Okay, here we go. Howdy, y'all. Joe Hills here, recording as I always do in Nashville, Tennessee. And the weather today is a little bit frightful. The season isn't exactly delightful now that we've moved on past Christmas into January. You know, you get these snowstorms in some part of the country and just like wet sleet in other parts. And that's where we are in Tennessee today. Rain and sleet. And Red Sky Bay is looking about the same as it looks out my window. So, you know, obviously better signage here. Better pigs, but, you know, the rain, it's about the same. So I was thinking, like, what would be a good rainy day activity on Hermitcraft? And this little area up here comes to mind as a particular kind of unfinished or unstarted work. Actually, I've got a ton of stuff that's unfinished all over the bay. Everything all over here is unfinished. In fact, even dredging out this part of the bay, I'm not done with. But, you know, I need to fix my pickaxe before I do that. I heard Mumbo was over here. Probably shouldn't try to swim across that. I heard Mumbo was over here putting in like a lighthouse or something nearby. I'm not sure if that's on the opposite shore or how far out that is. But it got me thinking that maybe I need to do some work on kind of this kind of entry point into the bay area. Let's see what we've got. I wasn't sure if the lighthouse was going to be right near me. But okay, good. It doesn't appear to be. Which is fine, because my point is that if Mumbo's going to start building stuff more over this way, I need to build my stuff better as well. So that takes some immediate pressure off me. He's going to be building some sort of lighthouse town or something back here. Like, okay, cool. It doesn't seem to be immediately adjacent to my base, which is always good when it comes to the fact that my base isn't done, and I want it to look awesome when people see it. So let's come back here, though, and start re-looking at how we want that kind of visitor center entrance via the portal to look. Originally, I thought, oh, I should have one of the nether portals dump you inside the sign. But the sign is meant to be read from the outside, not the inside. So I put that little portal over there, and then I never really decorated it, enclosed it, made it safer in any way. I thought about putting it on this island here, but I think we're going to have to dredge this island out if we want to actually make the bay feel like more visitable by large vessels. And that's kind of one of those things I keep coming back to, because I really want to have the bay eventually full of giant ships, but I'm realizing with the amount of time it takes me to build anything, giant ships aren't exactly the sort of thing that's gonna, like, I've got to look at my bay timetable, right, and say, okay, this castle has taken me 8 months, 9 months, and it's still not finished. That Rubik's Cube still has some missing panels I need to make the glass for. I mean, the glass for the Rubik's Cube is only a few hours of work, but, like, thinking about, like, oh, should I take on a new giant ship project? Maybe not immediately, but, like, plausibly. I couldn't start on a giant ship project until I kind of cleared out more of the entrance to the bay and made it more navigable, I think is the word for ships. So, you know, the more that I can start wiping out this little island here, the better. And, you know, it never hurts to have some extra smooth stone lying around. Because, you know, of course that castle there is going to need a ton more smooth stone for, like, the cliff here. You can kind of see the shelf that the castle is built on. I haven't actually fully enclosed that cliff. So getting in a little bit of extra smooth stone now is actually an investment in that future. You know, it's a cliff building exercise. Everybody's always worried about their projects going off a cliff. I'm worried about constructing cliffs for my projects. So I don't know if that just makes me a troublesome person or a contrary person, but, you know, that's the way we're going to do it. Let's go ahead and, I don't know, hit this with the pickaxe a few more times just to keep wiping some of this out. How many stacks have I got so far? 3. Okay, that's not 4. Well, one of those is light gray wool. Probably don't want to construct our cliff out of wool on account of it, you know, wool is an excellent material for manufacturing sweaters out of, but if you're trying to create a cliff, you know, it gets a little bit more questionable. You know, it's not called Sweater the Big Red Dog. So we need to keep, you know, that sort of, like, people put a lot of thought into some of this stuff, and we don't want to reinvent the wheel every time. You know, if Birdwell thought Clifford was a better name than Sweatered or Woolard, you know, maybe there's something to that. Maybe we can learn from his example. So, anyway, here we are, just grabbing a bunch of stone. And, you know, I was really wanting to get started on enclosing that, but now that I've seen that cliff problem there, I'm kind of tempted to just go immediately address it. So what we're going to do is we're going to replace a few of the torches that we pulled out here. We're not going to probably have time to completely remove this today because our pickaxe will die before we do anyway. So let's just go ahead and relight this up a little bit. Every single part of this whole Red Sky Bay project feels like it's some sort of weird, erosive, natural process, where it's like, I'll just knock out a few layers of this today. I'll knock out a few layers of that another day. It's hard to do focused builds when you only have 45 minutes a day to actually play the game. So instead I'm like, I want to make a cliff. That's what I'm doing. You know, and there's a certain joy in being able to do whatever you want to do. Although it does have its restrictions. Like, I don't know. Probably? Maybe? I'm guessing there are some. But where were we? We are cliff building. And it looks like I kind of had some sort of method here where I'd put torches on. Oh, okay. So that means I'm going to need more torches. As well as... Let's see, did I bring torches with me? Not in there. Well, we've got plenty of boxes, so let's go ahead and try them all. Okay, well, we learned something today about my preparations. Broadly, vastly insufficient, which, no real surprise there. Okay, so that leaves us with, like, enough to kind of bring the cliff out. And, oh, wait, 64 torches right here. Boom. Broadly sufficient preparations, I should say. That's nice. I'm excited about that. But yeah, we can just kind of keep bringing this cliff up and over a little bit. Kind of bring it around. Make it a little irregular. Kind of keep carrying it through so it pulls this entire corner across. Not too many people hang out in this part of the server, so it really hasn't been an immediate demand to, like, get this satisfied. But, you know, the Castle Ravenloft should have an impressive pillar stone it's built upon. You know, it is a crucial, integral part of the build to have this cliff constructed at some point or another. And what better time than here? What better place than now? You know? Or maybe the opposite. Maybe completely the opposite of everything I just said. I mean, it's possible that I'm, yeah, not paying attention to my own words. Thank you for paying attention to my own words, folks. It does mean a lot to me. Okay. Where was I? Yeah, we can just kind of pull this in like this. Kind of keep this going. Nice little rainy day project. Simple, elegant, joyful. I don't know how joyful it is. I'm not, like, exactly singing a joyful song to my sword. You know, hey, sword, gonna have some fun constructing a project made of a wall. It's mostly a cliff. But, you know, in general, singing to sharp implements is, like, perceived as a sign of, you know, immediate psychological distress. So that's probably for the best anyway. Okay, here we go. We are just minimizing the appearance of psychological distress as effectively as possible by ceasing our song. And, yeah, this is... Let's see how this is actually coming. If we come out here. Yeah, that looks kind of like a cliff. Uh-oh. I hear a monster of some sort. Those are generally undesirable in Minecraft. So I think that we're going to go ahead and hop up here where monsters cannot reach us so readily. Boom. And maybe even carry this... Whoops. Carry this back a little bit of a ways here. Kind of just trying to figure out how to make this work. Now, ideally, I should have this be differently heighted in different places to kind of give the impression of kind of irregularity. Like, we want to have this feel somewhat natural, even though this castle is a greatly unnatural structure. The pillar stone it's constructed atop is intended to be terrifying and a natural wonder all its own. So we'll just add some torches here. Oh, wow. I have a lot of stone to put in, apparently. I didn't even factor in how much of this I need to do to meet this part of the cliff. I probably built this out a little bit too much here, but I wanted to have this look impressive from the sea. And, wow. Ooh. Well, here we are in the sea. Let's go ahead back here. See, yeah, that looks good, that having that shelf there, I felt. And it'll even look better from over here when we get that cleared up. Okay. So, dang it. Okay, that's exactly how we get zombied. So we are going to very quickly run back here before the zombies. Okay. I should probably start working on just connecting all of these dots here. Okay. I surprisingly don't hear any zombie, or I hear a zombie, but I don't see any. I'm surprised they aren't running around the corner to try and eat me. But, whatever. These things happen. So, let's go ahead. What do we want to do? Yeah, sorry. Probably gonna time skip right here for a little bit. What wasn't clickbait, Skyball? I'm gonna go ahead and turn off the recording and start the face cam up again, because we had a lot of people coming in. Hey, welcome Skyball. I'm Joe Hills, and I'm playing on the Hermitcraft server. That's a zombie. He's not my friend. But the other people on the Hermitcraft server are my friends, including PythonGB, CubFan135, and PythonCam. Okay. So let's see, what else is going on in the chats? Welcome, PixelB. Why isn't there nobody here? Asked PixelB. It's because Twitch is only one of the 3 services I'm streaming on. I'm also streaming on Mixer and YouTube. And so most of the chat is occurring in other services. But some people only, like, they prefer the old Twitch app or whatever. So I'm trying to accommodate them. Wait, does that guy have a potion? Hold on, is that... No, he's got like an enchanted axe. And a death wish, apparently. And I need to mute that tab, apparently. Okay. Yuri Helsing says, yo, got a question about the thing with Intel CPUs. Does it kind of like work like a hardware version of Superfetch? I'm not familiar enough with the details of how Superfetch works to be able to answer that question coherently. So, sorry. Let's see, stone. Bring that in here. Okay, good afternoon, at Thelgar. Heracross on to Joy-Cons YT says, hey, I'm back. Welcome back. Good day, Turkinil. Glad to have you today. Skyball says a lot of people pretend to be on Hermitcraft. Well, I don't need to pretend, because I've been here since like 5 weeks after Hermitcraft opened. Okay, so now I am actually out of stone. So let's run back this way. Hey, Kindless. Glad to have you today. Welcome, Storm, again. Glad to have you. Sergeant Isperverter says, Joe, what does the TSD mean at the end of your name? Team Snow Day. Here's an example of a Team Snow Day book I worked on, which called Laugh at Us, and has my name on it. Yay. Like comics and stuff. Stuff I made. And we also made Pitfalls and Penguins, which I don't have... The book for that is out of my reach, but that's more impressive, actually, because it's like a 260-page game and book that I laid out and helped write. It was very time-consuming. The base I flew past would make the map was Python GBs. Ah, that's very helpful to know. Thank you, Stormageddon. But yeah, Team Snow Day is like a comedy writing group that me and my friends created. Okay. Lucifer Forever says, "You're the best." Well, thank you. I'm glad to hear it. Okay. How much more stone am I probably going to need? More than this, I'd guess. Now, in theory, the best way to ensure that the water fills back in here is going to be to kind of make a shallow pool. Welcome, Kieran. Glad to have you. Joe, did you think of a big base as a project? Yeah, the Red Sky Bay as the base was a kind of the idea I had for this season. I started off, originally I was like, I'm going to make as small a base as possible this season. And then there were some changes, and then I was like, okay, I'm going to make as big a base as possible. Welcome, Real Ben. I did cut my hair. Thank you for noticing, Dan Skull. And I am on the PC. I think I already answered that, but... Okay. Dang it, zombies. What is that over there? Is that just like a marker? Make this into a grassy bowl and put glass over it. Nope, I need to clear it out to make room for ships to enter the bay. Got them. What kind of ships will be entering the bay? I'm still working on that. Wow, these zombies are really coming from all over. How long will I do YouTube for? Well, I'm on my lunch break, so about 20 more minutes. Scott Evans says, good evening from a chilly Newcastle, UK, one and all. Yeah, it's been a little chilly in the United States as well. Tennessee is finally got above freezing yesterday, which was nice. When I took my daughter to the zoo, it was 40 degrees. Okay. Goodbye. You are the weakest link. Okay. So, we're going to switch back into recording mode to knock out this part. So, face cam off. Okay, recording started. Gonna give it a minute for the this to kick in. You know, from down here, that cliff already is looking way better, although I'm pretty sure if I come out more towards Mumbo's base, you know, it's not going to look quite as perfect. Yep, see, that's a pretty significant gap we still got there. Now, I went and gathered a little bit more stone by harvesting... Whoa. I was going to say, by harvesting out one layer here of this island. Now, you guys are probably like, Joe, why would you only harvest out one layer? Well, the answer is because if you want to avoid like crazy water source block weirdness, the best thing that you can do is to mine it out one deep and then let the water come in, right? So what we can do now is as we come around the outside of this perimeter, as opposed to the inside of the perimeter, also known as the interior, we're going to see all of these like ocean blocks turn perfectly into proper source blocks rather than being like all weird flow blocks, which is inconvenient, inconsiderate, and otherwise unattractive. Oh, I did want to talk about one thing I did this weekend, which was I took my daughter to see the Lifeway building blown up. And for those of you guys who don't know, in Nashville, they had this building there for like 25 years. It was built right next to the railroad tracks, kind of toward downtown, and what's known as like the Gulch area. The Gulch is like the pit that the railroad tracks are in. And it was a really neat building because, oh, see, here's exactly what I was talking about. There we go. It's a really neat building because they had, they built this like giant, massive, sprawling warehouse and printing factory underneath, because the company that built it, Lifeway, was like a publishing company that did a lot of books and magazines and that sort of thing. So they had this huge sprawling warehouse and factory, and then on top of that they built a skyscraper. So the entire company could work in one building. You would have, you know, the people in manufacturing downstairs, and then the people making the business decisions upstairs, rather than like off-site, you know. And of course the real estate got too expensive in Nashville, and eventually the land was too valuable to be using on a sprawling factory. So they have ended up basically selling the land to some other people who are going to build more stuff there. And as a result, they had to demolish this giant skyscraper. Well, giant by Nashville standards. But anyway, it's the largest building that's ever been demolished in Nashville. So my daughter and I, as well as like a whole bunch of other people, went down there to check out the implosion of the building on Saturday morning. Now, because it was downtown and I wasn't sure what the traffic was going to look like, we went ahead and took the bus rather than a car. And it was my daughter's first time taking a bus, so she was also pretty pumped that it was like, wow, I get to watch a building blow up, and I get to ride on a bus. Like, it was a really big day for her. So that was fun. I posted the video of the implosion on my channel earlier, so if you are interested in watching a building blow up and what a 4-year-old thinks about a building blowing up, then you should definitely check out my Lifeway James Draper Tower demolition video. But yeah, what else did I do this weekend? Oh yeah, I took Corrinne to the zoo, which was great because it was very cold, and so all of the water features of the zoo had basically frozen over. And so Corrinne got to she was really excited by all the like frozen waterfall looking things, and got a lot of pictures of her like smiling in front of ice, because she doesn't normally get to hang out in front of like frozen over water features places. So that was good, you know, getting outdoors, you know, a little bit, because it got up to 40, but the ice was all still there, so that worked out pretty well. But it had been like down in the teens for the days preceding. So for those of you guys who don't know, Fahrenheit 32 is freezing, which means like 15 is below freezing by a lot, enough to matter. And so lots of water will start freezing and get really interesting. So anyway, where was I? Freezing water, taking photos, blowing up buildings. Oh yeah, one of the other cool things about going to the zoo, when it was really cold though, is that a lot of the animals that normally like to hide at the back of their exhibits came to the front of their exhibits because it was warmer, because it was like more sunlight or whatever. So that was actually kind of neat. We got to be, like, usually the cougars like to hide, or not hide, but they like to relax on this one rock really high up the hill in their exhibit. But there was a much warmer rock in the sun, much lower this weekend. So we got to see the cougars up close, and the yellow-backed dwacker also normally likes to hide in a shrub. And today, or not today, but this weekend, he was just out hanging out because I guess that shrub didn't provide him a lot of direct sunlight. So that was kind of a pleasant surprise. Get to actually see him up close for the first time, even though we've been going to the zoo like once a month for years. But let's see. So that about covers Well, I figure I should keep going with this until I run out of stone, because otherwise, like, this, well, stuff like this just never gets done. Like, it's so easy to ignore, and now that I'm actually going to be flying over this more, I'm going to be really upset if it's always ugly. Maybe not all at once, but one day, and for the rest of my life. No, just kidding. Okay. But there's no sense filling chests with stone when I have stuff to immediately implement stone on that requires no forethought or planning. Yeah, filling in this whole part of the cliff here, I'm going to have to... I don't think that this is going to look particularly good, but it's not going to look particularly worse than it does now either. So, there's that. I'm trying to think. Other stuff I did this weekend. I walked to the bookstore which is a little far. I don't normally do that. But I was like, you know what? I want to get a copy of that Fire and the Fury book. But, of course, the bookstore was sold out. Apparently they had been sold out before the book even arrived. So I ended up getting it on the Kindle and reading a lot of it. I usually keep up pretty closely with political happenings, so I've only read the first 60% of the book, and nothing in there has been really remarkably surprising to me. A lot of it's stuff where it's like, was either speculated on or kind of reported elsewhere in the past, but it's it collects a lot of things in one place, which has a value. But let's see, dang it, I'm out of stone. It makes me kind of nervous when I read a book like that, and I'm like, oh, okay, this basically confirms what I already know, because I don't want to only read things that reaffirm my worldview. I was hoping to be challenged a bit more or surprised a bit more, and maybe in the last 40% of the book I will be, but so far it has not been too much of that. Yeah, this hole in this cliff doesn't really matter from most angles. Like, usually when I'm looking at the castle, I'm looking at the castle and not looking down there, but now that I noticed this, it's like I can't stop seeing it. So yeah, we'll definitely fill that in when we get some more stone, which we will definitely do when we get some more pickaxe mending. But anyway, back to here, we have gotten nothing done on this entrance, you know? So people come in here, well, at least the cliff looks better. That actually is something we did, because that was ugly before. So hey, we made some minor improvements. I mean, we could at least mow the lawn here. There we go. Improvement made. What else? Do I have anything else with me that I can just arbitrarily improve this with? Wool is probably a non-starter. More wool, definitely a non-starter. Obsidian and black glaze and stone. Ooh, actually, end stone bricks might be good because they complement the death house, which you actually can't see from here. But yeah, let's try putting in some end stone bricks just to have some sort of something here. And I'm thinking almost we could use the obsidian around the end stone or something. So like if we created some kind of circular situation here. Because the other question kind of is, how much of this, like, should this just have a wall behind it? Like, ooh, actually, let's grab that purple glass I saw. Yeah, the magenta glass. And we can take this portal here and build a second back portal. Like this, right? Okay, just hear me out. And then we'll fill this back portal with the glass. So that way people don't necessarily go out the wrong way. We are guiding visitors into the bay. And without, like, since this isn't very well lit back here, having a little bit of extra protection against, like, creepers surprising them by running up from behind is probably a good idea. Let's do some other quick torch work here. just generally decrease spawn rates and increase health and safety. Uh-oh. Yeah, that's where the mobs are spawning over there. Oh, and over there. So yeah, pretty close. Pretty close indeed. Okay, so we're just gonna pick these up. And where's that chicken? I had chicken I need to eat. Okay. Okay, keep him between me and him. Dang it. Dang it. That's a good bow. Welcome to Good Boger. Home of the... Okay, I'm gonna die. Okay, we're gonna go underwater. And we are gonna get in one of the boats with one of the pigs. And we are gonna flee. We are not gonna get in one of the boats with the baby zombies, because that will kill us. Whew. Okay, okay, okay. So that could have gone a little better, arguably. But, you know, when we ask ourselves, have we accomplished our goals this episode? Well, our cliff is greatly improved. Our portal is slightly improved. And, you know what? I got to talk... Whoa, I need to eat more. And I got to talk a little bit about my weekend. Oh, and we wiped out this island. I mean, that actually does count for something, getting rid of this. And we'll, continue to diminish the impact of this on the navigability of this area in the future. But yeah, okay. I'm actually really happy with how that cliff turned out. So, anyway, until next time, y'all, this is Joe Hills from Nashville, Tennessee. Keep adventuring. Okay, stop recording. Don't worry, stream, I'm still here. Hi. Okay, so the stream is still going to go for a minute or two. Welcome, Gamertop. Welcome, everybody else. Samuel and he. Welcome, James. Glad to have you guys. Okay, so let's see here. We have wrapped up that episode. I was going to say, if you guys have anything that... Whoa, zombies just dropping out of the sky on us here. If you guys have anything that you would like to see in future episodes, make sure to send me a message on Twitter or whatever. I know you're there, Stormageddon. I already said hi to you earlier. I'm saying hey to the people I haven't seen yet. Okay. But yeah, this is... It's not much of an improvement there, but it's good enough. I really need to think about how I want to carve this sculpture here. Like, there's definitely something to be done with that, and I haven't figured it out yet. But, I don't know. That's a project for another day as well. So, welcome me333. Glad to have you. Welcome Fibro Wolf, and thank you for the sub, Love Bug Strong. Okay, so, anyway, stream, do you guys have any final questions before I go? I'm probably... Ooh, I gotta get back to work. So, yay, lunch break. But boo, lunch break ending. Ozathoth said, I want to do an Easter Island type head in Minecraft. Yeah, that was kind of one of the things I was thinking about doing. I keep coming back to the idea of doing Vatu from Evan Dom's book, Vatu. But, I don't know. Let's see. Make it a big nose. That's another option. There's definitely something interesting we could do with that. That's such an interesting volumetric shape. The Zero says, do I ever want to do YouTube full-time? That would be awesome, but right now my wife is in grad school, and so I have to have a full-time job to have health insurance for my daughter and myself. Like, once my wife can get a job that has health insurance, it's going to open up a lot of opportunities for us. But we'll have to see, you know. If I want to take out a lone island again, you recommend using beacons. Yeah, this is such a small island. I don't know if you really need a beacon for it. But good note. Thank you. Okay. Karis says Easter Island villager head. Also very possible. Kindlelist says, thanks again for explaining the Intel bug. No problem. Giant lizard with a pointy hat. Also good. What is my full-time job? I am a full-stack LAMP developer. Linux, Apache, MySQL, PHP. So I make websites and I set up servers and do stuff with data centers. It keeps me busy. But anyway, speaking of full-time jobs, my lunch break is almost up, so I gotta get out of here. So thank you guys so much. Don't forget, if you want to, you can follow me on Twitter at twitter.com/JoeHills. Get updates on all the stuff I'm working on. And you know what? Before I go, I'm going to get a copy of that. Let me find the URL of that Build an Explosion video that I made with my daughter. And I'll post that in here so you guys can check out that Build an Explosion. YouTube.com/JoeHillsTSD. Finding the Lifeway demolition video.
Howdy, y'all. Joe Hills here, recording as I always do.
Here we go. Posting that in here, and in here, and in here. It was a great explosion. Anyway, so there's a link to that video if you want to check out that building explosion that I was talking about. Posted the link in all 3 chats. But, oh, I better disconnect from the server before all these zombies get me. Until next time, stream, this is Joe Hills from Nashville, Tennessee. Keep adventuring.